Okay, like I said, let's see how we can put session storage in use with a real example. Here, you see that I put back my timer counter so that we know when the page has been refreshed. Because if it refreshes, it goes back to 0. Now, our goal is that when the user is filling out this form, if they accidentally press refresh, it should not delete their entry like that. They should be able to go back and it should still be there. So how can we do that? Let's look at HTML. You might think that we should just put it on the form, like on input, but it's actually not going to work on input with the form tag because the form tag cannot have inputs. Only the children of the form tag can handle the on input type listener. Okay, so putting it on the form would not work. We have to put it on all of the inputs. Now, for the radio ones, they're a little bit different, but I will show you how to do that later on. Okay, so let me save this. Let's go to JS. So let's work on the name field right now. We're gonna do const name field is equal to document.query selector. And I think the ID was name. Yep. Okay, so then we can do name field dot add event listener. Let's listen for the input because we want to run this function every time the user presses a key. Okay, so this function we run, we do not actually need the event object. Okay, so every time they type, we are going to session storage, and we're going to set an item. So what item are we going to set? Well, let's just put this as a username. And then now, what should be the value of this? Well, it should be name field dot value. Okay. Now, does this work right now if we try it? Okay, look at the timer. I'm gonna refresh. It's still gone. Now, that's because we saved it, but we haven't loaded it. So how can you load something when the page starts? Well, the easiest way, and you can look up more ways online, but the best and easiest way I use, so use document.body, and I added an event listener called onLoad. Okay, look at what this says. Fires immediately after the browser loads the object. Cool, huh? Is equal to function. Again, no event object needed. And then we're going to go to, actually we have to check if local session storage, keep on getting messed up. If session storage dot length is greater than 1, because it has that default, right? It has that default value. If session storage dot length is greater than 1, what are we going to do? Well, we have to get the item, right? And then put it on here. So let's go back to selecting the name field dot value. What are we going to set its value to? We're going to set its value to whatever value gets returned from session storage dot get item. And then what's the key that we're getting? We're getting the username. All right. So now if I refresh and I type in fill, this counter is still going. And I refresh again, the counter is 0, but you see the word fill is still there. And that's because of this line right here. Okay. All right, so let's move on and I'll show you how to do it with the radio buttons.